Hi and a huge Halloween welcome to Steve's Kitchen. Today we're going to be taking a simple sugar cookie and turning it into some scary witch's fingers for Halloween. So come across, let me show you how I'm going to make them now. So in a mixing bowl, I've got a cup that's about 250 grams of butter, and I just want to melt that down. Now my microwave isn't working, so I'm going to call upon Thor, the god of thunder and lightning, to melt my form. Thanks, Thor. Of course, you could do it in the microwave, and 30 seconds at a time. It melts really very quickly. Into the melted butter, I'm going to add 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. And I've got ½ cup of Castor sugar as well. That's the superfine sugar. Doesn't need to be sifted. We're just going to take a fork now and just start to cream those together. As that starts to come together, I'm just going to put ½ teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now, I'm going to eyeball that. Doesn't need a great deal. And then continue to mix the cookie mixture together. Now, because I've used melted butter, the dough is quite wet, which is great because I'm going to be adding a little colour into this. I've got this AmeriColor forest green. I want green witch's fingers. I just think it looks cool. So I'm going to put a couple of drops of green in there. Now, this gel colouring is very strong, so you shouldn't need too much. And then I'm just going to continue to mix that through. And once most of the colour is in there, I'm just going to finish this off with my hands. Get your hands in there and pull all the dough together and get a nice even green. And that's the colour I'm looking for. Now, my dough is still very soft, so I'm just going to pop that in the fridge for an hour and let it completely chill down. So my cookie dough's been resting in the fridge. It's chilled down a little bit. It's almost ready. But before I start, guys, I've got 3 different almond ideas for the fingernails for my witch's fingers. I've seen them done with blanched plain almonds, some with the skins on, and I do like this one. I think it looks really sort of creepy and old. And also these ones I've just coloured in red food colouring, and that looks great too. What I'm going to do is make all 3, and you guys can decide. Comments down below what you think. Now let's get on and make the cookies. Now I've got about 1.5 ounces, about 50 grams of cookie dough, and I'm just rolling it out. I want to make it a little bit longer than a normal finger because it's a witch's finger after all. And I like to put the almond in first before I start marking the finger, so I'm just going to put my witch's fingernail almond in there and just push it halfway into the dough. Just shape it round slightly like so. Then I like to press a couple of little indentations in the finger, just sort of 2/3 of the way up, and take a knife, or I'm using a palette knife here, and we're just going to mark 3 little lines on each of the knuckle joints. You can sort of squeeze them out a little bit just to open them up. And there you have the first, let me just turn that round to you so you can see. There you have the first of my witch's fingers. Now let's try those with the other fingernails so you can see what they look like. Now as my tray starts to fill up, I'm just starting to actually roll my cookie dough out on a wooden board like this. And what you can do is just roll it out to approximately the length you want. Just snip off 2 ends. And then you can just move that onto the cookie tray next to the last witch's finger. Pop your almond into place. Put the 2 little pinches on there and shape your cookie on the baking tray itself. So I've got a tray full now of those witch's fingers with all the different almond fingernails on there. Now these need to be chilled down because when you're doing shaped cookies, you really want to chill this down 45 minutes or so in the fridge before you bake it, so it helps it keep its shape. And you might have noticed that I'm not using a leavening agent like baking powder, because also when you're doing shaped cookies, that will just make the cookies spread and swell and you'll lose a lot of the shape. So let's pop these in the fridge now. Now my witch's fingers have chilled down beautifully now. They're nice and firm, and we're going to pop them in an oven that I've preheated to 190 degrees Celsius at about 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 8 to 10 minutes. Just keep an eye on them. Don't let them overcook. So my witch's fingers are out of the oven now, and I've just let them cool down on the side. Now the last thing we're going to do, so we just need to remove the almond from the cookie and then take a tiny amount of red jam or jelly and just pop it in there behind the nail, or where the nail was, and then pop the almond back so we get this sort of red blood coming out from the edge of the nail, and that just makes a little bit spooky, a little bit cool. And there you have the witch's fingers. And on Halloween, if you just cover them over like this with a little napkin, when the kids see them, they'll be able to come up and just pull a finger out from under the napkin. They look really cool. And there you go. I still like this unpeeled almond, but I've experimented so you don't have to. Tell me down below what you think is best. Let's get on and give this a try. Strange thing to eat. Well, they're a sugar cookie. They're really great actually. Lots of fun. Give this one a try. Comments down below. Be good. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for joining me, guys. That was a lot of fun. And don't forget that last week we did the trick-or-treat treats. They were really very simple recipes to do with kids. And I'll leave some links here, maybe to some of those videos. Be good. Subscribe to the channel. Share the love. Give us the thumbs up. Take care. I'll see you next time.